So the Sandbox at the ground is a virtual world that we want to give owned by the players. So the ownership is belonging to the players. Anything that you see, any character, any avatar, any house, any sword, anything really is potentially created and owned by a player. That means that it's a virtual world that is not operated by some centralized company or organism behind, but it's completely user-generated content that is created by the community, by players, by artists, by anyone really. And the Sandbox is putting all of this into one persistent world where users can play, they can visit concerts, they can discover artists, they can meet each other and just explore this metaverse that we're building. So on a very basic level, imagine playing any game, any video game in the past, and you buy an item. You have something that you like maybe it's a backpack, maybe it's a hoodie, maybe it's an avatar itself. In the past, when you buy this, it's not yours. Like you have the rights of use, but it's not yours. Like you can't decide like, hey, I want to give this to my friend. Hey, I don't use this anymore. It's not something that I want to wear. On the NFT side, we're changing this paradigm of ownership and giving it directly to the creator of it. So I can design a hoodie that I'm putting for sale on it, and I get direct benefit from it. There is no middleman, but I can sell it directly to the end consumer. And this is the exciting part that we also see, which had a lot of interest in the NFT space for digital artists. But as the space evolves, there's a lot of interest of fashion creators, game makers, people that want to use avatars or that want to create their own universes and IPs. And on a very basic level, it is similar to what is known in the past when it comes to digital assets, but we're changing the ownership to the community, to the player directly. So you can decide what you want to do with this piece of item or this piece of asset that you bought, and it's an NFT. So it's my first time at South by, and a lot of the feedback that we're getting when we mention the word metaverse is that people are thinking, I'm putting on my headset and I'm in this world and I can do whatever. But that's not at all it. So we see actually a lot of metaverse applications that go, some of them are AR, some of them are XR. However, most of them are really on PC and mobile devices, which is virtual worlds or just environments that can be described as a metaverse. So there is not one metaverse that is all interoperable amongst each other, but there's going to be various collections, spaces that are all their own little metaverses and that users can log into. So in our case, for the Sandbox, this is on PC. Of course, we're having an eye on VR, on XR, on mobile, on just emerging markets, especially in the Web3 space. However, the focus for us right now is to have a solid experience on PC and then go from there into other platforms. As the Sandbox is a UGC world, actually we're seeing a lot of interest from creators that want to create video games. We have a part of the Sandbox is we have a portfolio of products that are made for UGC, for user-generated content. So we have a tool that's called Game Maker, in which you can build experiences, you can build houses, you can build museums. We have another tool that's called VoxEdit, which is really to design assets and equipment, avatars used inside the Sandbox. And we see various use cases of small teams of game developers that are building experiences for themselves or that are building experiences for one of the many brands that are already inside the Sandbox. We have partnerships with Adidas, with Gucci, with Snoop Dogg. And we have communities average random users that are building for them now. They used to be teachers, they used to be working in tech, but now they went into the space and they use Web3 to change their the area of work. And one vision that we also have is that we want to create new jobs that can be right now just the creation of houses, it's architects, it's digital marketeers, it's really any classical job that you can think of. We want to find use cases or an equivalent inside the Sandbox or inside our metaverse. And right now the biggest attention we see on the creation side, because we are in a phase where it's really about building the foundation of what the Sandbox is going to be. And there already we have I think 50 plus teams that are full-time working on building for the Sandbox. And this is it's very exciting to see. But then going forward, we also have a lot of agencies, sports clubs, individual music artists that really want to get into the space. Right now we're in the alpha for the Sandbox. So what we're doing is that every 2-3 months we have something that we call the alpha season, where anyone has the opportunity to get an alpha ticket that at the end of the season can be redeemed for a Sand equivalent. So for example, in December we had our very first alpha season where we gave out 1,000 Sand, which at the time was between $4,000 and $5,000 US. to every user that held this ticket, just by completing quests, by engaging with the platform, by playing, by like just interacting inside our metaverse. Right now we have our second season running, which has a similar approach, and it's really about like you play, you spend time, you have fun, but you get something in return. Like you get a sand equivalent, and which can be then either used to spend within our ecosystem or build something or convert into a US dollar. The real life is going to continue to exist. Like there's always going to be like the real life, and we're still going to like, we still have to breathe, we still have to get out, we still have to eat, we still have to be in this space. There's a concern on our side as well that we are very conscious about, that we don't want the Sandbox to become like a platform with a lot of ads, with a lot of just posters everywhere, like brands entering, which is why we really focus on our community, on like brands that want to build utility and bring content to the space, and that don't want to like exploit the users end of the day. And part of also our long-term vision is to build our foundation, the governance of the Sandbox, which we want to give back to the users. So if the users decide, hey, we don't want this, then it's a common decision for them to decide this.